D2 Word Life here with Rip Hole in One by the luck of his teeth tides.
See.
And we are going to review Backlash 2025, aka Backlash St. Louis, only because it came from St. Louis, Missouri.
And everyone in St. Louis had schizophrenia.
Oh, we're going to talk about that spicy main event.
There's nothing controversial. It was straight up 1, 2, 3, win.
What kind of match were you seeing? Because I was seeing something totally different. But we'll talk about that when we get
the main event. That's how it played out. It was won cleanly.
Oh, I get it. You weren't watching this event. You were watching their previous main events from other show. Okay, gotcha. Because I don't know what I don't know what kind of fucking match you were watching. This one, the main event here was anything but clean, but we'll talk about it when we get to the main event. Right? But anyway, this event, Backlash 2025, took place on May 10th, 2025. Like I said, in St. Louis, Missouri, at the Enterprise Center with an attendance of 17,155.
Yes.
And of course, the commentators for this event was Michael Cole and Wade Barrett for a good reason. Because Pat McAfee wasn't at the commentary desk. We'll talk about the reason why a little later. Right?
Yeah, Michael Cole was saying this is the first time he's going to be a biased commentator. Yeah, first time.
Yeah, Michael Cole saying, well, I apologize in advance. My commentary is going to be extremely biased. It'll be the first time I'm like, dude, don't be lying. Because I still remember the Michael Cole of late 2010, early 2011. That was bad.
Yes.
He ain't fooling the old school fans like us when he said that.
2012 and 2013 too.
Oh, and we don't need to talk about 2011 Michael Cole. That was those were some of the shittiest matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, we saw him face Jerry the King Lawler, JR.
That was bad. And of course,
I think that was in a pay-per-view.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only match we haven't reviewed is him versus JR.
Yeah, it was him and Swagger versus the King and Jerry Lawler. I do not, even though that took place like on the pay-per-view following Mania 27. I don't have an issue with that one. I thought the main event was fine, but I am not looking forward to reviewing that one. Only for that match. Oh yeah, and the ring announcer for this event was Elisa Taylor.
Yes. And they sang the national anthem just like they always do, and no one booed.
Yeah, they had Pritchard Owens perform the Star Spangled Banner to start off the show.
You actually got his name correct.
Yes. I know. Congratulations to me. Right?
Yes.
Anyway, the opening contest to this was the Fatal 4-Way match for the United States Championship, which pitted the U.S. champion Jacob Fatu defending against LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not going to go through this one spot for spot. I'm just going to point out spots that freaking stood out to me. One of them being when Fatu, I believe.
You're going to go spot for spot. There was no fucking spot for spot. It was just a fucking chaotic brawl.
It was a chaotic brawl with all four of them. I know that.
Yeah, that's why I said there was no fucking spot for spot. They were everywhere. There was no fucking in-ring really anywhere.
Exactly. And I think it was Drew McIntyre who was on the wrong end of a dang Samoan drop onto the timekeeper freaking barricade during this match. I remember we saw that, and you and I were both like, "Ow, that looked like it hurt." Right?
Yeah, I'm fucking like, oh no, don't tell me he's got no. Well, McIntyre is fucked.
Yep. And then at some point during the match, we seen Fatu perform a swanton on the McIntyre, followed by LA Knight performing the BFT on Fatu, followed by Priest freaking delivering the South of Heaven chokeslam on the Knight, and then Claymore kicked from McIntyre on the Priest. It was a finisher fest.
Yeah, it was just one finisher after another. Fucking swanton, then fucking BFT, then
South
fucking
it was the South of Heaven.
then the fucking South of Heaven, and then the fucking Claymore.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? After McIntyre hit the Claymore on Priest, Priest literally fell on top of Knight for a pinfall attempt.
Yes, and I would have laughed if he would have won that way.
Which led to McIntyre breaking up before the ref counter. Can you imagine if that's how the match ended? But then again, shortly after that, we need to talk about this. McIntyre and Priest, whose rivalry is not over, pretty much fought each other over the barricade into the fans. Yeah, they fought over the barricade into the fans. And then, freaking right when they were out in the fence, freaking Priest nailed freaking McIntyre with a South of Heaven through a couple tables that were outside, taking both of them out in the process.
Yes.
And when I saw that spot, even you were like, "Yeah, this signifies the rivalry is not over, not yet by a long shot."
Right? Yes.
And I'm just like, okay. So I figured either it's going to be Fatu retaining or LA Knight winning the championship again, which didn't make any sense to me. I kind of figured it would be Fatu retaining in the end. But anyway, back in the ring, freaking LA Knight performed 2 elbow drops on Fatu for a near fall. Right?
Yep.
And then freaking Knight attempted to do another elbow drop onto Fatu through a table, but Solo Sikoa pulled Fatu out of the ring before the move could even connect. And then, well, we see a surprise debut.
Jeff Cobb.
Yes. Jeff Cobb made his freaking WWE debut, and he attacked Knight, leading to Fatu retaining the championship following a moonsault on an LA Knight.
Yes.
And then afterwards, freaking Jacob Fatu went to the outside and just had like an awkward stare down with Jeff Cobb. And I think the backstory of this one is that used to be rivals in an indie promotion. And that's why he was looking all
MLW and a bunch of others.
Yes, and that's why he was kind of looking all confused. Right?
Well, they both also started in PCW.
Yeah.
Which is here.
Yeah, in the area that we live at. So I'm just like, dang. I'm just like, dang, what is next? I mean, obviously the McIntyre and Priest feud is going to continue going forward, so your thoughts about Fatu retaining the United States Championship in this 4-way?
I figured he would.
I mean, the outcome was kind of predictable for me, but the way we got there was kind of brutal, right?
Yeah.
And for those who haven't seen this match, I would recommend going back and watching this match. Right? Yeah. I mean, neither man had the momentum for an extended period, making it feel like, oh, anyone can win the thing or the match. And of course, the rivalry between McIntyre and Priest obviously continues. I wouldn't be surprised if they fought in like some kind of falls count anywhere, no holds barred stipulation at some point. or
Most likely.
because the way they were brawling in the crowd last night leads logically to a stipulation like that. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. For the first time ever on a WWE pay-per-view or premium live event, for those who call it PLE, I still call it pay-per-view. Because you got to pay for the Peacock subscription to watch it. For the first time, we see the Women's Intercontinental Championship being defended on a pay-per-view when it's Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria defending against Becky Lynch. Now, this story came about because Lyra Valkyria was challenging for the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania last month. Her partner Bayley got attacked backstage. We didn't know who did it, and that's when Becky Lynch actually returned as her replacement for the first time in months, nearly a year. Which everyone was pumped up, right? Everyone was happy to see that, and like we said during the WrestleMania 40 review, Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch won the women's tag team titles, only to drop on the very next night back to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez on Raw. And then after the match, Becky Lynch brutally beat the hell out of Valkyria here and then explained that she was the one who took Becky Lynch out. And you know, the back and forth burns between the two, specifically Valkyria freaking just burning the hell out of freaking dang Becky Lynch and all the brawls recently. Last couple of weeks. I mean, shit, you've been watching Raw as often as I have. What do you think about this build-up going into this one?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, there was a couple of times where even Valkyria nailed a freaking burn on a Becky Lynch, and you're like, oh, shit. Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, this was the match I was looking forward to the most. And, you know, they were going... It was pretty much an all-out scrap between these two. And then they transcended to, you know, more traditional wrestling holds. And the advantage really wasn't kept by either women here. Could have gone either way. Right?
Yep.
But, you know, at one point, Valkyria attempted to do the moonsault, but Lynch got her knees up, reversing the move. Lynch managed to perform a manhandle slam, only for Valkyria to kick out. And at this point, freaking Lynch was getting frustrated as far as taking the championship, trying to use it as a weapon, but that backfired, right?
Yep.
And of course, at one point near the end of the match, Valkyria attempted a Nightwing, but Lynch blocked it and struck freaking Valkyria in the nose, but Valkyria countered. Valkyria countered. I think another disarmer attempt into a pinning combination to retain the Women's Intercontinental Championship. But then, after the match, to signify that the feud is not over, Lynch viciously attacked Valkyria after the match ended. To the point to where Lynch had to be escorted out of the building by the ringside security or officials, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, from what I could.
Your thoughts on this one?
It was good.
Did it live up to the hype? Sorta, but am I looking forward to another scrap between those two coming up in the future? Especially after the post-match beatdown? Yeah. I would say so. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then we go on to the third match of the night. Next contest, it was for the Men's Intercontinental Championship. As it was the Intercontinental Champion, the Trash Can, your boy, Dominic Mysterio, defending against Penta.
No, the Trash Can is yours.
We all know the Trash Can is your boy.
No, we know the Trash Can is yours.
I mean, hell, the Trash Can came out, he didn't even have a lid on. Haha, very funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then yeah, and throughout the match, some spots that stood out to me was Dominic Mysterio hitting Oblivion on the Pinta for a near fall. There's a callback to Liv Morgan, who I guess currently right now is off filming a movie
Yes.
while still in possession of the women's tag team championships right now. And of course, during the match, the Judgment Day had to show up, right?
Of course they did.
And this was when Pinta was in control over Dominic, looking like he was about to score the win here. And, the referee was distracted. Balor grabbed the chair, but Balor hesitated. He didn't do anything, right? And then the referee caught him all anyway and ejected him from ringside. I'm like, more storyline development there? I eventually think this is going to end with freaking Balor leaving the group and feuding with Dominic.
Most likely.
Yeah, but in the end, freaking Dominic was down. Pinta was in control. Then Pinta went up to the metal rope. Probably to hit another high-flying move to weaken Mysterio down before going for his finisher. Until your boy, El Grande Americano, came out and headbutted Pinta.
Until your fucking boy, gay-ass fucking Chad Gable is fucking El Americano fucking bullshit.
So yeah, your boy El Grande Americano freaking went up there, gave freaking Pinta a headbutt with that loaded mask of his. And when Pinta knocked out due to Americano's loaded mask, because you know how Chad Gable likes to put that freaking piece of metal up into the mask to knock his opponents out.
The way he could win.
And that opening allowed Mysterio or the trash can to go up to the top rope, nail a frog splash on Pinta, and pin him to retain the championship. So yes, the trash can or Dominic Mysterio is still the Intercontinental Champion. Your thoughts on this one?
Oh shit.
That was interference heavy, right?
Oh shit.
I thought it was okay for what it was, but with a Dominic Mysterio match or any Judgment Day match, the interference is going to happen eventually.
Oh shit.
I mean, you should be happy. You saw your boy El Grande Americano come out.
No, it was your boy El Grande Americano because you like the American made with fucking Chad Gable.
No, that's your boys. That's your group, along with the New Day.
No. You like the bum ass Judgment Day, fucking El Grande Americano, and the fucking Boo Day.
No. Those are all your favorite factions.
Nope, those are yours.
Hell, as a matter of fact, you told me recently that come Saturday night's main event, you want Logan Paul to win that title from Jey Uso.
Nope, you told me you wanted that to happen, just like how you like.
Hey, man, you said it yourself.
Paul beat Mike Tyson.
No, fuck that. And besides, you told me yourself.
You like drinking fucking Prime.
No, that's the way you stay hydrated.
No.
And besides, you're the one.
I stay away from Prime. I don't like Prime.
And besides,
it
man.
tastes like shit.
And besides, man, you're the one who freaking told me that you like to see the world burn. Well, your boy Logan Paul winning that title is a good way to see the world burn.
Nope, that's a nuclear option, and it's your boy.
Yeah, that's not my boy. That's your boy.
Because you're the one that keeps bringing his ass up.
To be honest, I'm surprised that world title match wasn't taking place at Backlash with the storyline they've been doing the last couple weeks between the two. You'd think it would be. To be honest.
They already had a stacked card.
Yeah, they already said for Saturday night's main event, but they didn't really imply that until the actual Backlash show. I'm like, huh? And I've been following Raw and SmackDown in recent weeks, specifically Raw for that feud. Right?
No, they did. It's just that they were going to plan to do it at Backlash, but it was a stacked card.
Yeah, it was a stacked card with like 5 matches. We already spoke about 3 of them and how we felt about
And
it.
also Jay was still recovering from fucking your boy Logan Paul's cheap shot.
Logan Paul ain't my boy. He's your boy.
Nope.
I mean, hell, I heard for Saturday Night's Main Event you already bought like 3 cases of Prime yourself.
I know you did.
Yeah, boy. But anyway, the semi-main spot featured freaking commentator Pat McAfee taking on Gunther. Next.
Which he should have won, in my opinion.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When this match was announced, because, the backstory of this one was Gunther was all ticked off at freaking Michael Cole and Pat McAfee because of them repeatedly calling what Gunther tapping out to Jey Uso at Mania, losing the world title in the process. Gunther went all crazy, started bullying around McAfee, he started bullying around Michael Cole first, and then McAfee stepped up, and then Gunther freaking beat the hell out of him and choked him out at ringside the night after WrestleMania, right?
Yep.
Which led to Gunther supposedly getting suspended. That was just all storyline based. McAfee wanted this match, and then they had their little debate talk, hype talk, whatever promo on Raw this past week, hyping this match up, right?
Yep.
And honestly, this match was pretty much what I expected it to be, with Gunther on offense most of the match up here, including freaking chopping freaking Pat McAfee's chest where it looked like raw hamburger meat. And I'm just like, why are we doing this match? Right? Like, I get it. Pat McAfee wrestled a couple matches before. And actually, he was victorious at WrestleMania against Austin Theory. Remember that match? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it. I get that freaking... Also, that Pat McAfee was also involved with the NFL at one point, so... I get it. Pat McAfee does have an athletic background, but... He's not really a full-time pro wrestler, is what I'm trying to say. He's more of a commentator. Which ain't nothing wrong with being a commentator in WWE. People make, like Michael Cole made a career out of it. Alright? Speaking of Michael Cole, jeez. Speaking of Michael Cole, yeah, his freaking commentary was very biased here. Playing cheerleader for McAfee when he was trying to get back on the offense and when he was down, including going down to ringside near the end of the match. But before that, he even yelled at Gunther, just end it, when he had pretty much McAfee dead to rights. Right?
Yeah.
Like, several times throughout the match, but Gunther refused to end the match right then and there. He just wanted to toy around with his prey at this point. Right?
Yep.
But McAfee did end up fighting back in a shocking comeback, including a roll-up, which got him a 2 count. Imagine if it would have ended there. You would have been laughing your ass off, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, and then McAfee didn't perform a punt kick on Gunther for a 1 count, right? And of course, now that Gunther was reeling on the offense near the end, freaking McAfee actually applied a sleeper hold on Gunther, the same maneuver that took him out at Mania, right? Imagine if Gunther would have tapped right there. I'm pretty sure you also would have been laughing about that one, right?
Yeah, Gunther would have fucking tapped out. I would have still laughed.
But yeah, anyhow, Gunther escaped this, got out of the submission hold, or the sleeper hold, and then he performed a freaking lariat on the McAfee, knocking him down. Right after a great effort done by McAfee here. And then Gunther then decided to apply his own version of the sleeper hold on McAfee, but McAfee never tapped out, he passed out. Which led to the referee calling for the bell and awarding the match to Gunther. Right?
Yep.
And of course, after the match, when McAfee was able to get his breath back after the match and everything else, Gunther shockingly extended his hand and actually shook McAfee's hand in a show of respect. before leaving the ring. I was totally expecting Gunther to come back and attack him some more, to be honest. But that didn't happen. But your thoughts on this one?
Man, it was decent.
That comeback, though, making a lot of people believe McAfee had a chance against Gunther here. So I think the reason Gunther showed respect to McAfee at the end is because McAfee showed his own against Gunther and actually fought back. Right?
Yeah.
As in Gunther or McAfee wasn't backing down to Gunther or anybody, really. Even in a losing effort, you gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And surprisingly to me, it was better than it had any right to be, so I enjoyed the match. At least it was better than any match Michael Cole had. Right? Okay, now we have one more match to talk about. Jesus Christ, this is going to be controversial here. Now we get to talk about the main event where hometown boy Randy Orton and everyone in the audience with schizophrenia for singing that song, singing like a voice in their head. Yes, I say that sarcastically because, Randy Orton's theme song is voices. Right? And Randy Orton was facing John Cena, the WWE champion, with the championship on the line, built as one last time between these two who had a storied rivalry in the past. And a lot of history facing off against each other. Except in all of those matches that they had in the past, Cena was the good guy face, and Randy Orton was the evil, conniving heel. This time around, the roles were opposite, where Cena was the evil villain, and Randy Orton was the conquering hero. Funny how that works, huh?
Yep.
And even Randy Orton referenced that during a promo against Cena, saying, yeah, these unique circumstances, kind of weird, right? With Cena being the one booed and Orton being the one cheered, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure in some of their matches, especially around 2009, I'm pretty sure most of the crowd was chanting for Orton and booing Cena, but that was back during the whole "Let's go Cena sucks" era, right? Where it was a polarizing figure built as the top face of the company, which I don't really count that because the roles were still, back then, were still Cena face, Orton heel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, this match started off slow between the two, with the championship being defended here. And they both executed their respective, signature moves. But at one point, when Orton was down, Cena attempted Randy Orton's punt kick, but Orton moved out of the way. Right? And Orton's like, nope, you ain't getting me with my own freaking finisher move. Right?
Yep.
And then at one point here, Cena performed the FU, or attitude adjustment. Let's just say FU because Cena's a heel now. Cena performed the FU on the freaking Orton, only for Orton to counter it mid-move into an RKO, which knocked both of them down, right?
Yep.
And then at one point, the referee got knocked down, so obviously the referee was out of the equation. And during that point, Cena was able to execute the FU on Orton, but since the referee was down, Cena was like, hey, I'm an asshole now, right? So he went on to the outside, grabbed the WWE Championship, and looked like he was going to use it as a weapon on Orton, only for Orton to counter and perform an RKO onto Cena. And I think it was at this time Orton had that visual pinfall on Cena for 10 to 20 seconds before a referee came out, started counting, and Cena kicks out. Right?
Yep.
And then freaking Orton was like, you know what? This motherfucker decided to try to do my punt kick against me. So Orton took Cena to the outside and planted Cena with an FU through the announce table. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then freaking back in the ring, Orton then performed another RKO for another 2 count. How does Cena kick out of all this? Oh, wait. He's John Cena. That's just what he does. Right when you get him down, right when you think you have him down, he always gets back up again, like that song Tub Humping.
God damn, I'm not gonna even fucking correct you at this point.
You know I'm doing that just to annoy you as a little joke. Right?
Uh-huh.
But then after Cena recovered, Cena actually grabbed the championship once again, charged at Orton with the championship belt, but Orton got out of the way, and Cena ended up smacking the other referee. Right? So that's 2 ref bumps in this match if you're keeping score here. Then Orton then performed another RKO on Cena, but there was no referee in the ring at all at this point. And then SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis and other officials came out to the ring. You know, because both referees were down, they didn't know what to do. But then Orton decided to go on an RKO spree on all the officials, including Nick Aldis.
Yes.
And I made a joke. When I seen that happen, I'm like, oh, it's like the Oprah Winfrey show with Randy Orton. You get an RKO, when you get an RKO, when you get an RKO, everyone gets RKOs. Right?
Yeah.
But then Orton seen Cena was prone, like knocked down, struggling to get up. So Orton decided, you know what? Orton's in a great position to get kicked in the head. So, Cena's in a prone position to get kicked in the head. God damn, I'm stumbling over my words. I'm stumbling over my damn words here. Why did we agree to do this podcast to begin with? Anyway.
You were doing great, and then at the end, you fuck yourself.
Yes, I fuck it up, like I always fuck it up when we're talking about these matches. Right?
Just like you do in 2K.
Shut up. But anyway.
No.
But anyway, Cena was down, was in the position to get kicked in the head or punted in the head. So Orton went to the corner, was attempting to, and then he ran towards Cena to do the fly kick. But then R-Truth came out and blocked Orton for some reason. He's like, no, you can't do this. And what did...
It's not R-Truth. It's Little Jimmy Truth.
Well, R-Truth, whatever. And this just infuriated Orton even more to the point where he's like, screw it, I'm giving you an RKO as well. So Orton hit an RKO on R-Truth as well, knocking him out. But then that's when Cena recovered and actually nailed Orton with that low blow. So Cena was a dick to Randy's Orton's here. And then just like at WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes, freaking Cena took the championship and nailed Orton in the head with it, knocking him out. And then Cena freaking got the pin. And then Cena pinned Orton and the referee recovered, counting to 3 for Cena.
Yep.
So yeah, Cena retains the championship, cheating like the little bitch that he is.
He's not a little bitch. Turnabout is fair fucking play. Because Randy Orton did the same fucking thing in the multiple matches that they've had.
So yeah.
Don't even fucking start with this shit.
So we're still in the era of John, I cannot win a match fair and square Cena.
Go fuck yourself.
But R-Truth's involvement but anyway, this doesn't really affect my overall thoughts on this matchup, and we'll talk about how we feel about the match afterwards, after I'm done talking about this a little briefly, but at the time that R-Truth interfered in the match, it kind of made sense and it kind of didn't, because, R-Truth been going around backstage talking about how Cena is his childhood hero and that when he grows up, he wants to be like John Cena, despite the fact that R-Truth's already a grown adult and he's friggin' older than John Cena. Right?
Yes.
And I guess during the press conference, when Cena was out there talking about the match with Orton and everything, guess R-Truth kind of interfered, tried to talk to Cena, so Cena, in response, freaking performed an FU on the freaking R-Truth through the table.
Well, he's like, oh, I always believed in you, besides everyone else saying you suck.
And Cena freaking just decided to lay out Truth with an FU through the freaking conference table. So I'm like, oh, that's possibly going to open up a feud between Cena and R-Truth now. Maybe. If anything comes from it. And if nothing comes from that, then why even bother with the R-Truth going to the table spot? Right?
Yep.
So anyway, press conference stuff aside that we just talked about, your thoughts on this main event with Cena defeating Orton here?
It was good for their 94th match overall.
Yeah. It was okay, but the ending to me kind of ruined it. Even though it was predictable, it just didn't really do it for me.
He did the same thing at the other backlashes to John Cena.
Is this their best?
Turn about fair play.
Did Randy Orton have better matches? Yes. Did Cena have better matches? Obviously. Did these two have better matches in the past against each other? Obviously, yes. So I really don't. When I see this matchup, I'm just like, okay. It just felt like, average at best to me. Right? But if this sets up freaking Cena defending against R-Truth eventually, even though that one's going to be way predictable for me with Cena winning, then I can kind of understand the whole table spot during the press conference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, we go to our favorite part of the review, and that's our rating system, like I always say. So, Jacob Fatu defeating LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest in that U.S. Championship Fatal 4-Way match to retain the United States Championship. I gave that one 4 out of 5.
4.5.
Lyra Valkyria defeating Becky Lynch to retain the Women's Intercontinental Championship. I gave that one 4.5 out of 5.
3.5.
I must have enjoyed it more than you did. The Trash Can Dominic Mysterio defeating Penta to retain the Intercontinental Championship. 3 out of 5.
2.
2. I gave it 3. I guess I enjoyed it a little bit more, but to me that felt average. Gunther defeating Pat McAfee by TKO. I gave that one 3 3/4 out of 5. To me, it was way better than a glorified squash and what I thought it would be.
4 1/4.
Yep. And of course, the main event with John Cena defeating Randy Orton to retain the WWE Championship. I gave that one 3 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
I gave it 3 out of 5. But now that I think about it, with Randy Orton going on an RKO spree on everyone right before the messed up finish, that gave it at some point. So I changed my mind. My actual rating for the Orton Cena match is now a 3.5 out of 5. You probably still say 5 out of 5, knowing you.
5 out of 5.
Yep. So yeah, my final grade for Backlash 2025 is a solid B-.
A-.
So yeah, if you're only going to see one match from this, I would recommend either the Fatal 4-Way opening contest or, of course, the main event. So yeah, that's our opinion on. So yeah, that's our opinion on Backlash 2025. So now the court is in your order right now. What show are we going to be watching later on this week for the classic pay-per-view review of this for this podcast? You're like, I have no idea.
Honestly, we're gonna do something I don't think we've done yet.
Oh, yeah?
Armageddon 08.
The 2008 Armageddon event, huh?
Triple H versus Edge versus Hardy.
God damn it, you took one of my picks. I was actually thinking about doing that at some point as well. Yeah, so... Yeah, 2008 Armageddon, that was an alright show. So, yeah. Anyway, I can't complain about that one, so... Anyway, until then... So yeah, our next review will be Armageddon 2008, so until then, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.